Imagine waking up one day to find that your favorite social media platform, TikTok, is no longer available in the US. This could have been the harsh reality for the millions of Americans who use the app daily. But a recent breakthrough in talks between the US and China may have just saved the day. The US Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, has announced that a framework deal has been agreed upon with China regarding the ownership of TikTok's American operations, paving the way for a potential US-based buyer to take over. But here's where it gets interesting. The deal is still subject to approval from both US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, and China has made it clear that it won't compromise on its principles or the interests of its companies. The clock is ticking, with a looming deadline for TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance, to find a buyer for its US operations or face a shutdown and ban in the US. The US has long been concerned about the potential national security risks associated with TikTok's data collection practices, with the Justice Department stating that the app's access to American users' data poses a significant threat. ByteDance, on the other hand, has consistently maintained that its US operations are independent and that no data has been shared with the Chinese government. The company has also argued that a ban would violate free speech protections for its 170 million US users. The situation has been unfolding for months, with the US Supreme Court upholding a law in January that would ban TikTok unless its parent company sold its US division. The law was passed in April 2024, and since then, the deadline for a sale has been extended several times. Various high-profile figures, including Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, and Frank McCourt, have been rumored to be potential buyers of the platform. And this is the part that most people miss. The deal is not just about the ownership of TikTok, but also about the broader trade tensions between the US and China. The agreed-upon commercial terms are designed to protect US national security interests, but China has made it clear that it won't compromise on its own principles. So what does this mean for the future of TikTok in the US? Will the deal be approved? And if so, what will it mean for the app's users? These are the questions that are still unanswered, and it's likely that the situation will continue to unfold in the coming days. But one thing is certain. The fate of TikTok in the US hangs in the balance, and the outcome will have significant implications for the social media landscape. The US Trade Representative, Jamieson Greer, has stated that the deal is subject to the leader's approval, but his team is not in the business of having repetitive ban extensions. China's top trade negotiator, Li Chenggang, has also emphasized that his country will not reach a deal at the expense of its own principles and companies' interests. As the situation continues to evolve, one thing is clear. The future of TikTok in the US is far from certain. But here's the question. Do you think the US is right to be concerned about the potential national security risks associated with TikTok? Or do you think the app should be allowed to continue operating in the US without restrictions? Let us know in the comments. The controversy surrounding TikTok's ownership is a complex issue, with valid arguments on both sides. On one hand, the US has a legitimate concern about the potential national security risks associated with the app's data collection practices. On the other hand, ByteDance has consistently maintained that its US operations are independent and that no data has been shared with the Chinese government. As the situation continues to unfold, it's likely that we'll see more debate and discussion about the future of TikTok in the US. But for now, the fate of the app remains uncertain, leaving millions of users wondering what's next.